just generally speaking, something to write with and some paper and a notebook and things like that. And we have a specific list that includes like college rule. This is a change. So college ruled notebook paper is what we will ask for in middle school. Like a 3-ring binder, notebook dividers, pencil pouch, all that sort of thing. Different colored pens, red, black, and blue is what we ask for. Pencils with erasers, number 2 pencils with erasers, scientific calculator. We will send you this list. And if this is like, stressful or anything like that, please let us know. And again, we can help you with supplies as well. So those are just the kinds of things you can have in mind. Also, you will have a locker at Stanwood Middle for the most likely, we'll kind of see how COVID goes, but you can have a backpack that would fit in your locker, and we don't do backpacks with wheels, just a heads up there. And also, you will bring PE clothes. And we ask that you have a red or gray t-shirt, red or black shorts, closed-toed like tennis shoes. You're welcome to wear like sweatpants and sweatshirts. That's fine. You will have a PE locker, most likely, again, depending on how things go with COVID. And typically, you would have a PE locker and you would take your PE clothes home on the weekends to wash them. Again, if you need help with any of the PE supplies or anything like that, just let us know. Okay, that's all I had there. We will now jump into questions. Mr. Clunt and Ms. Christmas will help, but I just want to really say, congratulations on finishing soon your elementary years. I'm super excited for you to make this transition and to welcome you to Stanwood Middle School. We're super excited to meet you in person and to welcome you to our wonderful school. It's a great place to be, and I know you will be very happy to be with us at Stanwood Middle.
So the questions that I see, can you do 2 things like UA and band? And the answer is no. You got to make a choice. So that's question number 1. And then question number 2 is, will 5th graders get to vote for ASB? Mrs. Berg and I are working out the details on that, so I don't want to say yes or no. We're just trying to figure out how to make it work during these remote times and opening up elections to where everybody would get a chance to see the speeches. So it's a maybe, and we're trying to figure out the details on that one. Are you able to take off your mask in PE? They can go outside for a mask break, but they can't take it off. You still wear your mask in PE right now. Do we get a map of the school? Well, we have found that as big and scary as it might seem to you being new in here, it doesn't take you too long to figure it out. And so we will make sure that you know where you're going. What is ASB? It's the Associated Student Body. And it's like the school government where you have an ASB president and a vice president and a secretary and treasurer and senators, and the leadership class helps run things. And what if you can only do one of the electives and it's full? Super secret fact. Most likely it won't be. Most people always get their first choice. We just like to have a backup just in case something weird happens. Okay. And that's, I think, it for the questions. Not for sure what Pablo meant by it's voting pretty much, unless you meant that's for ASB. Anybody else?
Parents, you're also welcome to unmute. We're happy to answer questions live as well, like with your voice. Yes, we will mail out a list of required supplies, absolutely.
And as far as tours go and where everything happens, again, we'll know a lot more in August than we know right now in May. We hope we'll be able to have an open house and tours to where you can find where everything is. That's our hope. And if not, we'll have a great plan for you. Anybody else, any questions? Mr. Clunt, any final words of wisdom?
Nope, we are looking forward to having you here. We will put lots of information. We send lots of school messengers and family messages. And so we will, the next school messenger will send all this information, the recording, those YouTube links and things like that. And our school supplies list will probably differ in August than it would right now. And so we'll send that out in August. We'll start sending those school messengers and things. And so that is the best place. But if you really have questions, the best thing to do is just to call the office. and we can answer those right away. Or you can email any of us as well, and we'll get those out to you right away.
There's 2 more questions that came in, one about math. And so 6th graders traditionally only have 2 math choices, either Math 6 or Foundations of Algebra. And then when you go into the 7th grade, you're either in Math 7 or Algebra, if you've taken Foundations of Algebra. Or in the 7th grade, you can also take Foundations of Algebra if you didn't take it in the 6th grade. And then in 8th grade, you can take 8th grade math or algebra or or geometry. So the 6th graders only have the 2 math choices.
And if I can say also, Miss Christmas, earlier there was a question about can you take band or choir and the UA rotation? So not in 6th grade, like Miss Christmas said, but speaking of 7th and 8th grade, you can definitely look forward to, like, for example, if you take band or choir in 6th grade, in 7th and 8th grade, you will have a little bit more room in your schedule. So you could take band or choir in 7th and 8th grade, plus some other electives. So I want to make sure you know that, especially as you're kind of thinking about what you might like to take in 6th grade.
Generally speaking, I'm going to the next question. Final schedules are available about 1 or 2 days before school starts. So the very end of August is when you would get notified through Skyward that schedules are available.
Scheduling, for those of you, especially I see a lot of teachers' names and things that are here. It used to be we put, like in elementary, you put class lists up on windows back in the day, and we would have to print all the schedules and stuff. But now with Skyward, we just open them. And so you'll get an email when they say they're open. So number one, you're going to use Skyward a lot more than you ever have, probably. So for elementary students, you've got to, adults and students that are listening, Skyward is going to be your friend. And Skyward wasn't around when I taught. So for 18 years, I didn't have much. But in the last decade, Skyward has become huge for grades 6 through 12. So we will just open up the schedules and you'll be able to see them. But we have to hire everybody. We expect some teachers won't be here. And so once we open those schedules and then students find out which lunch they have and things like that, they want to be with their friends. It causes us quite a bit of anxiety in the school. And so it typically is until 2 or 3 days before school. So everyone's back and we have all of our hiring done and stuff. So probably the Thursday or Friday before school.
There was a question about, are you able to bring unessential supplies? I'm not exactly sure what that would be, but if you're a little extra like me and need like little stickies for things, if that's unessential, sure, you're allowed to bring that kind of stuff. If you need 72 kind of highlighters, yep, that's allowed too.
But Emma, if you're talking about something else and if you want to put it in chat or unmute right now and tell us what else you're thinking about, you're welcome to. Or if you want to just email one of us, that's fine too. But sometimes 5th graders do have things that they maybe brought to elementary. You're not sure if it's okay at middle school. Let us know. We're happy to answer that for you. We definitely can get you a paper copy of your schedule for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As time approaches, you'll get lots of notifications as to what your schedule is. Make sure you're always checking your email and your parents are checking your email before the school year starts, and you'll be notified of our plans. Our website will have all of the information on it as well. Zoe, I'm looking at your schedule, and you will have a different schedule every year with different electives depending on your choices, but you're always going to have the core 4. Okay, so you're always going to have math, science, English, and social studies, and then PE for a half a semester in 7th and 8th grade as well.
And on that note, Jaylyn is asking about weightlifting. We do have a class for 7th and 8th graders called Advanced Fitness that would be a lot of weightlifting.
The code for a new Skyward access, I think it's the same from elementary to middle school. I will double check on that. If not, we'll make sure that people get the right code. Again, you can always call our office and double check on that when the fall has one. So Skyward, everybody already has an account for Skyward, and you can check with your current elementary school about what your Skyward account is to be able to look at that. Avery, I see you're asking when you get the form to choose for choir or band, and your folks, your parents, your people will get an email tomorrow that has the link to the form on that, as well as to the YouTube videos. Like I said, I dropped the YouTube videos in the chat earlier. And again, you'll get this in an email tomorrow.
I also see a question above from Georgia. Once you have the class list, we'll be able to walk to each class before the first day. Am I seeing it right? On open house night, if we're able to have that, that would be a chance. Is that right, Mr. Flynn?
Yeah, and we have a map that we do. Somebody asked about that earlier. We have one. It's just our building is kind of laid out kind of funky for a one-page map. And but if we have an open house, we will definitely have a bigger tour. But if not, then we've done smaller tours too. We've just got to figure out what the restrictions are for people in the hallways and things. But we'll have a way to take you there, hopefully.
And Pablo, I see your question about, are you going 2 days a week or every day? Right now, students go 2 days a week, and of course, we don't know yet what the fall will look like, but we will let you know once we know.
If you're able to use the library after school, the library is open for a little bit of time after school, but we don't have busing for people if they need to go home, so you'd have to get a ride. But the library is open after school for a little bit of time.
And one nice thing about Stanwood Middle, right, is that it's right next to our Stanwood Snow Isle Community Library. So you'd work it out with your adult at home, of course, but a lot of our students will just walk down to the community library as well. Hopefully that will be open by next year as well.
Yeah, and one of the things that we have not had this year, we've got the library right down the road. Across the street from that is Davis Place. And then the district typically provides a YMCA bus. And so for those of you that want to go to the YMCA, then we have transportation for that. We didn't do that this year, obviously. But if the restrictions are lifted, then the district will then provide a bus for students to ride up to the YMCA.
Avery, I saw you asked if there's any clubs for sports like gymnastics after school, and we currently don't have any clubs for sixth graders that are sports centered. And maybe that's something we can look into next year, because a lot of people, they want to play volleyball, especially boys. Glenn, I see your question about different teachers, or is it blocked with the same teachers? You might have 2 of the same teachers on the schedule, but generally speaking, you will have 6 different teachers throughout the course of your day.
It's not a block schedule.
You're allowed to do as many clubs as you would like to do, as long as you work it out with your adult at home to get a ride home. Generally speaking, though, you'd have to choose if 2 clubs meet on the same day, which one you're going to. They don't go back to back, but sometimes there's multiple clubs during a week that you can do. If you live within walking distance, you can walk home after a club.
Other sports than wrestling?
Not right now. How long do you get between each classes? I know this isn't going to sound like a lot, but believe it or not, it becomes almost too much time. 4 minutes. It's enough time to get from point A to point B. Clubs usually get over.
Question about the bus schedule?
They will send out information about VersaTram. So some of you might know what that is. They'll send out a link, and you'll be able to check your bus schedule, routing, and times. They'll have it exact, and they'll do that in the fall. They have to rebid all the routes for the drivers and things like that when we get to fall, so that'll be a while.
To sign up for a club when it comes time, you'll come to the office and put your name on a list. Again, you can send us an email at any time. I will get that email out to everybody tomorrow with more information to where the adult in your family can help you fill out the form about what you'd like your elective choice to be.
And if you have any questions, just call the office, 1350-629-1350. And Rhonda or Tia will answer the phone, or you can email any of us or all of us at the same time if you'd like to, even students. It's very simple to find our email address. And we'll answer any questions that you have. Thank you, everyone.